Flew the Frankie-O when the news of silver speeding up. It's filled the Frankie-O.
Real news that matters. You might remember that there was a petition, a We the People petition signed by 270,000 people that demanded that the United States government deport Justin Bieber back to Canada. And the fun thing with We the People petitions is that after 100,000, the White House must respond in some way. And because that was their word, they actually did have to respond, which can be paraphrased. No, we're not going to answer that. They officially said, sorry to disappoint, but we won't be commenting on this one. The We the People terms of participation state that to avoid the appearance of improper influence, the White House blah 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 blah. So we'll leave it to others to comment on Mr. Bieber's case, but we're glad you care about immigration issues, blah 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 blah, because the current system is broken, blah blah blah. So to the Justin Bieber haters of the world, Obama is not on your side, albeit he wants you to know he's not on your side. Maybe it's all for the best. If we sent Justin Bieber anywhere, that could possibly be seen as an unwarranted act of war. We send him back to Canada, they respond by shooting maple syrup bombs or whatever weapons they have up there, and millions of innocent penguins die. For what? No war is worth that. Then, nation, let's talk about General Mills. Reason being is they had a policy change, and the New York Times looked into the legalese and found the new policy said customers who downloaded coupons, joined in its online communities, or subscribed to email alerts would give up their right to file class action lawsuits. And it seems the reason for this is the class action lawsuits, they're in court, they're highly public, everyone knows about them, it hurts the company. One of the most recent ones for General Mills was in 2012. The company was sued over claims that they deceived customers into believing fruit roll-ups and fruit by the foot snacks actually contained real fruit.
How stupid!
Shift would do is
would people believe that?
Subscribing to email updates, that would be considered the signing of a contract, so that if you did want to sue, you would enter automatically into arbitration, which is all handled out of court. It is very, very sneaky, and people were not too happy about that, which is why General Mills has now reversed that policy and said, we're sorry we even started down this path, and we do hope you'll accept our apology, ... Please keep buying Cheerios. That's really just another example of people and companies and whoever will always try and get away with what we will let people get away with. And our douchebag of the day today has to be the baggage handlers over at Air Canada. This video that was uploaded to YouTube that has now over 1 million views shows baggage handlers at Pearson International in Toronto, instead of walking down luggage, throwing it 20 feet. That's just a fantastic example of why I always try and just travel with one tiny bag I can take on the plane, and I never gate check it, because shitty people are everywhere. They're all around us, and you don't know who's who. Like vampires, but less sexy and more lazy. Then in an unfortunate update, let's talk about the South Korean ferry that sank. When I first talked about this last week, we had a few confirmed dead, several hundred missing. Unfortunately, as of recording this video, the official count has gone up to 86 confirmed dead. Still hundreds officially missing, but we can only assume the worst. And the question I left you guys with last week was, with the captain going far too fast for where he was going, turning too harshly, which caused the ship to tilt and ultimately sink, and leaving before anyone else, escaping, abandoning ship before the people he was ferrying across got off. Is that illegal? Should this man be punished? The nation was somewhat split, but the South Korean president saying the ferry crew's actions were murderous, saying what the captain and part of the crew did is unfathomable from the viewpoint of common sense, unforgivable murderous behavior. Legally and ethically, this is an unimaginable act. Early Saturday morning, Captain Ji Loon-seok and 2 of his crew were arrested, and today authorities arrested 4 more crew members, 2 first mates, 1 second mate, and 1 chief engineer. And if convicted, Captain Lee faces
That's good, they did a good job.
Which arrest me is pretty light. From all accounts that we've heard of, the people on the ship, including the captain, had no idea what they were doing. For 30 plus minutes, while they could have been getting
shouldn't even been on the
to
ship.
safety in some way, they had them stay where they
Almost
were
kids
until
drowned.
they decided to abandon ship and jumped first. I don't know how these selfish chicken shits can even sleep at night, let alone that they could only be prosecuted for 5 years. We can talk about the official count all we want. Several hundred people are dead. It was avoidable. It's stuff like this that just fills me with so much anger. But that's just my opinion, and I understand that it's different when you're in the situation, but I like to think that I'm enough of a man that if I was in the situation, I would not let several hundred high schoolers just drown. No real man would allow that. And the last thing I want to talk about today is actually, I just got a phone call, and in the next, we'll just say, guesstimate 36 hours, there may be a baby DeFranco in the world.
Woo!
Little Bit Nation. And while I will be taking a small break from
Jay
CBS,
DeFranco,
go to youtube.com/PhillyD. That's where I'm posting daily vlogs. So there's that. The next time I see you, I may have a baby in my arms. And I can't think of a question of the day or anything because my mind's racing. So I'm gonna bid you adieu. Of course, as always, if you want to possibly win a $100 Amazon gift card, just leave a comment down below. Maybe while you're
Phil
at it,
DeFranco.
subscribe. And thanks again to the sponsor of today's show, GameFly.com.
In the news from Phil DeFranco, guys, let me tell you something. You have a chance to do that, to do what you want to do, and you can do a channel just like Phil DeFranco over there and have your own channel. Come on, it all starts. We're on YouTube, the Silver's Media, the Freedom Network. We're all there. New Hunter Church of Christ, all right there. Subscribe down below. Subscribe down below. Tell us what you know. Yeah, that's right. And remember, every now and then we'll have Phil DeFranco on here just to let you know that there's other news alternatives out there too as well, other than us. But we want you to still watch the programs, because we do all kinds of stuff here. And have even guests like Phil DeFranco and more. So you stay here and stay tuned. We got more coming up. And what I meant to say is earlier in the news on the second part, April the 26th now, Ukraine wants to have a war with Russia. And Russia said, well, if you don't back off, pretty much what he said in English, we're going to do what we did to Georgia, not the Georgia in the U.S., but the Georgia over there in that area of the world. What we did to them, we're going to do to you. So I hope Ukrainians, you better back off, because they really mean business. And that's what the Prime Minister said over there. And as far as the plane, the Flight 370 has not been recovered yet. Boxes have not been covered, which is really weird. So, I'm sure those boys' boxes that they did have probably was the plane. But, of course, nobody's going to admit to that. So, there you go. Nobody is not going to admit to that. So, that's what I'm saying. You got to deal with people like that. They just won't admit to anything. But anyway, that is the news for today for part 2, and actually going over on Saturday. But anyway, what I understand, it's going to be a science fair at Washington Henry and probably other schools. So if you have kids that are in school at that location, they'll definitely be having a good show there. I know a niece of mine is going to be singing there. I call her my niece. She's not really my niece by blood, but she is in Christ. But she's going to be singing there in the chorus. And of course, I know that a couple of my nephews are going to be showing some stuff there. And then on Sunday, they're going to have Earth Day over there at Washington Henry. So, y'all be safe, and make sure you wear sunscreen tomorrow. It's going to be sunny and hot. The highs in the lower 80s. It's going to be humid, a little humid. So make sure you wear sunscreen and dress cool. Same with Sunday. So anyway, this is the news. And, of course, we'll have more updates coming from the Silver's Media, the Freedom Network. And Phil DeFranco. Oh.